Hi. I just got back from my second day at school. It's Monday, and I'm basically going to be desk warming for the next 2 weeks. My first day actually teaching won't be until March 19th, and I'm okay with that. Basically, what I'm doing between now and then is I'm just watching other teachers teach English, and I feel pretty good that that's going to kind of boost my confidence, and it would also give me some time to learn some of the other kids and learn like where their English level is. So far, I'm pretty impressed. A lot of the kids are really friendly. That like they're really excited to see me, and they know I'm the talk teacher, and so they'll come up and they'll talk to me, and they're just like really excited. And one of them was showed me his phone. He was like, "My smartphone, my smartphone," and so I pulled out my iPhone and I showed him. He goes, "iPhone?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Four? Yes. S? Yes." And he goes, "Wow." It was so funny. So I guess iPhones are like a really big thing here. So I got the in with that kid. And then there was like a group of boys, and like they were like giggling at me and like talking to each other in Korean. And then one of them was like, "You're very pretty," and like put his head back down. It was really funny. And then like a lot of the girls that came up to me, and like I was working on my introduction PowerPoint like while they were teaching, and they were like, "Is that you? Is that you?" And like at the end of class, like they all kind of like gathered around me, and they were like, "Hi," and they were like just trying to get to know me. It was really cute. But yeah, and then I also found out that every Wednesday I'm gonna have a storytelling. So I don't know, I'm really excited about it. Like, I don't know, I love telling stories, and I have to find where the wild things are, because, like, I don't know, I acted out very well. It was one of my favorite stories from when I taught pre-K. That and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which, as I've already stated, that movie sucked and it ruined the book. Well, it didn't ruin the book, but makes me mad. Anyway, alright, so that's all I have. Hi, everybody. Alright, so it is Sunday, and it is almost 1 o'clock, and yeah, kind of had a fun week. I got to desk warm a lot, which is like a term for sitting at your desk and doing nothing, no teaching or anything else. But that's okay. I'm still kind of excited to not be teaching because I'm kind of getting a feel for the school still, so that's nice. Yeah, Monday didn't do much. Tuesday didn't do much. Monday I did go to my first Taekwondo lesson, so that was pretty cool. My knee is killing me. I went 3 times this past week, and I'll go 3 times a week while I'm here. And hopefully we'll test out in June or July, and maybe get a few belts under my belt. Wednesday I went and played volleyball with my school. Volleyball is like huge in Korea, and like I've never played volleyball before, but I guess just with my height, maybe I'm just a little bit better. And so apparently, like, one person's supposed to put it up, the next person's supposed to do this, and third person's supposed to spike it. Well, I was in the area where you're supposed to spike it, and the vice principal was on my team, and he was right next to me, and so every time that he got it, he was like, "Allison!" and like pushed it up, and I ran up and I spiked it, and he was very, very proud. And like all the teachers, we had a quiz sheet that night, which is like a school dinner where like all the faculty gets together and they eat together and they drink together, and they do like a little custom with the drink, like where they approach you, you accept a drink from them like this, and they pour it for you, you drink it, and then you pour out whatever's left, you give them the shot glass, pour it for them, and they drink out of the same glass, so it kind of signifies like a relationship or whatever. So because volleyball is so big, a lot of the teachers were there, and so a lot of people came up to me like, "Oh, you're very good at volleyball. You play before?" And I was like, "No, I haven't played before," but it was still fun. And then so Tuesday night I stayed up till like 3 in the morning, didn't go to bed till like 4. Woke up at like 7:30, which is just the way my body works. I wake up at 7:30 every day. Hopefully, sometimes I can go back to sleep, most of the time I can't. And so I was running on about 3.5 hours. So I went to school, lesson planned for a little bit, played volleyball, went to the Quashik that night, and then had Taekwondo, and then went out and just hung out for a little bit after that, all in 3 hours sleep. I felt pretty much like Superwoman doing that. It's hard, but it was good. Thursday, went to school, desk swarmed again, and went out with the English teachers. I went to Pizza Hut, and we got the spicy chicken, which was good. But everything was good, but it was just, they had, sweet potato. It was okay, so, the meat and everything was right here, and then, an outer layer like this was sweet potatoes, which was actually really good. And they had, a cheesy crust, and that's, my favorite part, cheesy crust. So that was really good. And because I was, the youngest, got to take home the leftovers, and I was like, no, it's okay, you don't have to do that. And they're like, no. Because they think I don't eat because I don't like kimchi. And, to not like kimchi in Korea is, a sin. And so they think I don't eat anything, so they're always giving me food, which is really sweet, and I love them. I don't feel like I could be with better teachers. Every one of the English teachers are really nice. And my mentor teacher's really sweet, and I really enjoy their company. And, every day, we go and we have lunch, and then we come back, and every day we have a tea time, snack time thing, and it's just the English teachers, and we're just sitting and we drink and we eat or whatever. So yeah, they're really close knit and they're really welcoming, so I'm really happy with that. Friday I didn't go to school. We actually, John, Sam, and I, with one of the women from the Office of Education, went to Daejeon to get our ARCs, which is our Alien Registration Card, and that was eventful. First time on a bus that wasn't a charter bus, and I about got sick. It was pretty bad. Apparently, the way to Daejeon is the curviest and the worst one to take if you get car sick. Never been much for getting car sick back home, but Koreans, they just drive so sporadically, maybe. It's just really bad. And so yeah, we did that, and then we filled out all of our paperwork, and we saw Vincent, and he was one of our people from our group, so that was really exciting, nice surprise. And then we came back. It was just John and I coming back because Sam and Mia stayed in Daejeon. Yeah. And then I pretty much just had a quiet night that night. I've been out almost every night that week, so yeah. So I went to Home Plus on Saturday, and I spent way too much money. I got my flight reimbursement, so I actually had some money to buy some of the stuff I needed around my apartment. And most of it I really did need. Yeah. But yeah, I actually got chicken breast, and so I came home and I fried that up for lunch, and it was amazing. I didn't have any. A lot of y'all have had my grilled chicken. I usually put some barbecue seasoning on it. I didn't have any of that, so I just butter, salt, and pepper, and it was still amazing. And I found paste salsa. Yeah, so I'm gonna be making egg sandwiches now with paste salsa. So that's exciting. And yeah, and then so I was just kind of sitting at home chilling. I've read a book and a half this weekend just because I had the bus ride to Daejeon, and then just sitting around the apartment just kind of relaxing. But yeah, so I got a call Saturday, and they're like, hey, there's a bunch of foreigners at this place, come meet us. So I did. And Korea has this way of just sucking you in. You're oh, okay, yeah, I'll go for an hour. 7 hours later, you're wondering where the hell you are because you've changed places so many times. And those people, the Boyoung foreigners, they can drink no shit, drink like crazy. And they're really friendly, and they're all really nice, and so it's it's a good atmosphere. They kept coming up to me and oh, you're not drunk. You need to drink. And I'm just like, I'm okay. I don't, go ahead. And they just continue to come up and they're like, are you sober? Why are you not drinking? You need to be drinking. And, but drunk people are like easily distracted. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And by the time I get back, they're like mingling with someone else, trying to get someone else drunk. But yeah, it was really fun. I kind of ditched them whenever we went to Noraebang, and then I just walked home because I don't live that far. And Korea's like really safe, and I live like right next to a police station, so I'm not really worried about anything like happening. But yeah, it was fun. I met a guy that lives in my building. I knew two girls that lived there, and they were talking. Like, I was talking to him, and then like I came up to him, and he was talking to two other girls. I was like, "Oh, these girls live in my building," and he was like, "No way, I live in their building." So we were like all talking about how we're gonna like cook with each other and like all this fun stuff. So yeah, yeah. So the things that have kind of happened this week that kind of I found interesting was one of my teachers said, "Oh, you have really beautiful eyes," and I don't know if I do, whatever. I get that a lot, so maybe I do. And they were like, oh, they're so pretty. What color? You know, like I was like, yeah, they're like green, hazily, sometimes blue, whatever. And she goes, in your country and on driver's license, they have eye color, right? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, in Korea, almost everyone has brown eyes, so that doesn't go there. I never would have thought about that. Like, that's just one of those knowns, you know, like, oh, eye color. Yeah, of course. I never, like, it baffles me. Like, it makes sense. Brown eyes. Check. Got it. And, like, hair color, too. And they were like, really? Hair color? What happens when someone dyes it? Didn't have the answer. I just assume it stays the same from when, like, you're 16, 15, filling out your permit. I don't know. Do you have the answer? I don't. Yeah. And then I was talking to someone, and one thing that's kind of different in Korea is boys do like the flirting, and they're kind of like the more like aggressive one in the relationship. Like me, I think I'm kind of like old fashioned. Like I don't approach guys. Like if a guy wants to date me or if a guy has an interest in me, he has to do the approaching. Like he's got to come to me and be like, hey, I like you. Because I'm not going to do it. Like, no way, no how. Like, I never make the first move. Well, in Korea, like in America, that's like totally weird because usually girls are like, oh, he's so cute, and like texting him all the time. And like typically, if I like you, I talk to you even less because it makes me nervous. But yeah, and in Korea, that's the way it just is. Girls don't do anything. Guys are the ones that make the move. They're the ones that just do everything. Like, I'm amazed. I'm jealous. One thing I've noticed about Korean food is most of it smells really bad, but I really enjoy the taste of it. Like curry, like Korean style curry, I hate the smell. Like I walk in, I'm like, what is that? Like, what are they cooking? So one thing I found out is I'm going to have a lot of kids. I've been desk warming and with my mentor teacher, and she has been getting like these like little slips in all week, and I'm like, I was just like curious, like what are those slips coming in? And I looked at it, and it's slips to sign up for my class. And like they called me on Friday while I was in Daejeon, and they were like, so 50 second graders signed up to take your class. That's too many in one class. Can we give you an extra hour? Which is fine. It's an extra $20 a week that I'll get. But I mean, if 50 second graders, I mean, there's no telling because I teach second and up. So so that's a lot. But I'm pretty excited because I tend to like my bigger classes, more diversity and all that stuff. So, all right. Well, I love everyone back home, and I miss y'all, and I hope this was entertaining. I think, maybe. Okay. I'll see y'all later.